Shalom, everyone. This is Brother Ned coming to you again with another lesson. Today, I want to talk about the topic, be content. I want to start off with showing you guys a short video, and then we'll get right into the lesson. One moment while I pull it up.
Homeless, and I used to fish all the time. I wasn't fishing playing, I was fishing catching fish, because I drive to a rest area because I kept charcoal in my trunk, and when I got to them little grills on the side of the rest area, I'd take my charcoal and I'd fry my fish. But I was always fishing somewhere illegally, because I ain't own no lake or nothing. And I catch a string of bass, probably get 6, 7 on there. Hey, what are you doing over here? Get away, get out of here. I pull my string up. Hey, them fish don't belong to you. Let them fish go. I got to take all them fish off the hook and throw it back in the water. He didn't know, man, that I'm trying to eat, but I can't break no law, so I got to go on about my business. So first thing I said, I told God, I said, when I get me some money, I'm going to buy me a piece of land. Because I just want a piece of land where can't nobody run me off. I just want something I can stand on. This here piece belonged to me. So this how I did it. I was reading something one day, and I said, man, how much land is on earth? So I looked it up. It's a little over 36 billion acres of land on earth. At the time, it was between 5 and 6 billion people on earth. It's a little over 8 billion now. So I did a little hood math. I said to myself, if it's 36 billion acres of land and it's 6 billion people, just to me, everybody ought to have 6 acres of land. It was a scripture my mom used to tell me about all the time. She said, you have not because you ask not. So guess what I started asking for? 6 acres of land. Just wanted 6. So I messed around and got my first piece of money. I got me a check for about $115,000. So first thing I did, went to Dallas, Texas, said I'm gonna buy me some land. I found a piece of land, I thought it was perfect. Had a fishing lake at the end of it, because I love to fish. I said, man, this piece I'm gonna buy right here. Let me talk to somebody. I was with a real estate agent. I said, how much is this? He said, it's $250,000. I can't afford this. So I got about 115. He said, I don't think you're gonna be able to get it for that, but I'll make a call. So he called the guy. The guy said he would take 115 now and I could pay him the rest later. And before I did it, I said, hey man, let me ask you something. How much land is that? He said, oh, that's 6 acres. It was 6 acres. I got ready to sign it up. The real estate agent said, Mr. Harvey, before you sign it, I want you to think about it. I want to show you something else. So he took me over to this dude's house. I never met this guy. He came outside, he's a hillbilly. He's just country. You know, I was a little nervous. Me and hillbillies don't really, we don't normally work that good together. His name was Jerry Campbell. Turned out to be one of the nicest men I ever met. I misjudged the man. He talked to me, he said, I want to show you something. And I go over there and I couldn't believe it, man. It had rolling hills on it. It had 4 lakes on it, fishing ponds. I said, man, look at this right here. How many acres is this, man? He said, 16 acres. I said, man, I can't afford nothing like that. He said, well, hold on, I'm in a tide right now. How much you got? I said, well, I was gonna do this other piece of land. I got 115 I'm gonna pay now. And if you give me a year to pay out the rest of it, I could buy it from you like that. He said, tomorrow morning, if you bring me a $115,000 check, I'm gonna give you this land. So I got the 16 acres of land the next day. So I said, wow, that's how it worked. You have not because you ask not. I asked for 6. Soon as I was gonna buy the 6, he put some grace on it. Next thing you know, I got 16 for the same money. So I got to thinking. I got a couple partners in Cleveland that's locked up. They not getting out of prison. So I asked God, could I had a 6? They not getting out. They got 6 coming. Hey, Lord, can I have a 6? So you know what he did? Some land opened up next to it. I bought 18 more acres. I bought it. So I went back up to Cleveland. I was hanging out one day. My boys was on the corner. I told them, I said, look, man, I can't hang out on corners no more. I'm trying to get my TV career started. Oh, you done changed, man. This what's happening. So now you done got this little money. You done forgot where you from. I said, okay, hey, Lord, can I have A6 too? Cause so I see right now, yeah, I see what's happening right there. They ain't finna go nowhere. So I kept asking for everybody I thought wasn't gonna ask for their 6. I asked for their 6. I ended up owning almost 300 acres of land in Denton County, Texas. But I just kept on, man. Just kept on with it. I just kept the faith. I kept believing. I kept asking him. I kept wanting. God got great life for you, man. But you're gonna have to ask for it. And when you ask for it, you're gonna have to believe it. After you believe it, you gotta put your work in. Now, if you don't wanna do the work that it takes to be successful, this man with his success, if you knew how hard he worked, if you knew the hours he put in, the hours his daddy put in, if you knew what it really took, it's daunting. It's days, man, where you go, whoa, what is this I'm trying to do? But you got to hang in there. See, getting what you want is up to you. How you get there, that's up to God. See, the problem with you is you trying to figure out how to do something. Listen to this. The how-to ain't none of your business. The Bible don't tell you to figure nothing out. It say ask, believe, and receive. Now, see, you keep going down these churches, they keep telling you this, but you ain't listening. I'm asking you to listen. You can turn your life around if you change your attitude. You change your attitude, you change your altitude. Stop sitting in here with a life of mediocrity when that ain't what God created you for. Now, you might not want this life. You might not want what it takes to get here. But if you want this life, you got to put in your work. You got to put it in, you got to stay prayerful, you got to never give up, you got to talk God every day. Now, if that ain't what you want to do, then good luck. You keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. I would try something else if I was y'all.
We see out here in different customs and different traditions. This causes us to be in wanting, greedy, covetous, lascivious, lustful, jealous, adulterous, and proud. Now, it was mentioned on here a couple of times what he stated, but let's go here first. We're gonna go to Micah 2. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. It says, when the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Verse 2, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So the brother that was speaking there in the video conjured up in his mind that everybody should get 6 acres of land when the population on this earth continues to increase and or decrease depending on what's going on. But as far as I can tell, it's only ever increased. So at the time that he did it according to that time. So it's going to change. But in his mind, everybody should have 6 pieces according to what he had going on, right? 6 acres of land according to what he had going on. Then he commenced to ask for other people's, what he so-called their land, they should have for their land. So he coveting other people's stuff, according to him. He want what everybody else got. You heard him say it. But let's go over here. We're going to go to we can go right over here to James chapter 4. See, James chapter 4, starting at verse 1. It says, "From whence come wars and fightings among you?" So where does that come from? It said, "Came they not hence even from your lusts that war in your members?" So that strong desire that's within you. It says, "Ye lust and have not." It says, "Ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain." That's us. We have this strong desire to want everything. But that's not what we was intended to be asking for. Everything under the sun. It says, "Ye fight and war, yet ye have not because you ask not." See, he said it on that video, "You have not because you ask not." But here's the key right here. Verse 3, it says, "Ye ask and receive not, because," here it is, "ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts." We asking for all of these things, whatever it may be, that we desire, that we can see. We asking amiss. There's no faith in nothing that you can see. Why you even want for it? You can see it. Verse 4, it says, "Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?" So all these things that we want of this world is putting us at odds with God. Furthermore, whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of God. There it is. Let's go over here to Matthew. We'll go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 8. No, I just passed it. Be not ye therefore like unto them. See? Said, let's don't be like that. Don't be desiring and wanting of all this. It says, "For your Father knoweth what things ye have need of, before ye ask him." So Yahweh know everything that we need before we even ask for it. So what's the point of us over here doing all this desiring and lusting and warring when everything that we need, he already know it? We shouldn't even have to ask for that. There's no reason for us to be asking for all of this, all of these things that you can see. Let's go over here to John chapter 14. We're going to pick up a little more about what we should be asking for. If you're going to ask anything at all, let's take a look. John chapter 14, verse 12. It says, Verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. Greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. That's Jehovah, go unto my Father, Yahweh. And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, my way, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son, the servant. Verse 14, if ye shall ask anything in my way, my name, I'll do it. So what is this thing that we should be asking that's in his way? We're going to go right here to James. We're going to go up here to chapter 1. Pick it up at verse 5. It says, if ye and if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. Told you right there. If you lack wisdom, it says if you lack your lusts, it says if you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. It says that giveth all men, give it to all men liberally. It ain't no cap on it. It says, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Now watch this. Verse 6. But let him ask in faith, not wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. It says, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. So we should be asking for this wisdom, okay? Now watch this. We're gonna go into what all this stuff that we shouldn't be asking for. How people see this. What we have done. We can go to 1 John chapter 2, verse 16. It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. So all these lusts, that's all of the world. It said, remember it said, ask for wisdom right here. If you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. And say nothing. It says all that's in the world is the lust of the flesh. It's lust. Didn't say nothing about no wisdom. Let's pick up some more over here in Sirach. To some Ecclesiasticus. Go to verse 14. I'm going to pick it up at verse 9. It says, a covetous man's eye understanding is not satisfied with his portion. See, the brother on the video said he wanted everybody's acres. He He done made up in his mind everybody get 6 acres. He want everybody who wasn't gonna ask for the acres. He wanted theirs too. He said, I want their stuff. Coveting. It says, and the iniquity, the acts of sin of the wicked, drive up his soul. Let's pick up a little more information here. We're gonna go to 2 Timothy. Gonna pick some up at chapter 3, read verse 2 through 4. It says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous already, boasters, proud, blasphemers, liars, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. They ain't separated. They a friend of the world. It says, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. See, them pleasures, your own lusts. Said, will of God said, get wisdom. Matter of fact, this wasn't in the lesson, but let me see if I can pull it up right quick. It says, get wisdom. Right here. Let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5. It says, get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. See, we supposed to be getting this wisdom, not all these lusts of the things that we can see. Right here it says, forsake her not, verse 6, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Matter of fact, wisdom is even fundamental. Look, wisdom is the principal thing. That's foundational. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Didn't say get lust. So watch this. We're gonna stay in Proverbs, but we're gonna go over here to chapter 13, and we're gonna pick it up at 7a. It says, there is one that maketh himself rich, yet have nothing. Making yourself rich in all these lusts of the world. That's enmity, though. We're gonna stay right here in Proverbs, but we're gonna go to verse chapter 28. We're gonna pick it up at verse 21. It says, verse 22. It says, he that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. All these lusts is empty. They vain. Matter of fact, we're going to go over here to chapter 15, verse 27. says, he that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house. Remember it said, don't covet thy neighbor's house? But then you being greedy of it, you're going to trouble your own house, let alone what else is going on in your neighbors. So watch this. We're going to go over back to Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 14, verse 3. It says, riches are not comely for a niggard. And what should an envious man do with money? Matter of fact, let me see something. It's one other one I want to pull up. Just came to mind. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Give me one moment. Bear with me. Go to Ecclesiasticus. We're going to go over it. Stay in Sirach. We're going to go to chapter 21. Right here. Remember, it says, he that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. That's what they doing with money. It's just like they setting themselves up for their own death. Let's look at something. See, build says it's form, strengthen, increase in power, fashion, obtain. This house is a temple, a holy place, a habitation. And then money, it's mammon, wealth, treasure, or material possessions, worldly. So let's read that again. It says, he that strengthen his habitation or his temple with other man's treasure. What's this other man's treasure? These lusts. See, it says, it's like one that gathered himself stones for the tomb of his own burial, because these lusts is vain. They empty. They don't get you anything but death. It's all death. Let's go to let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6, 9 and 10. It says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Just told you it was like gathering stones for the tomb. We just drowning our own self in destruction and perdition. Let's see what else happened. We're going to go back over to Proverbs. We're going to go chapter 23, verse 5. It says, wilt thou set thine eyes upon which that is not? This is vain stuff. It says, for riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. Because he said, you're going to have to put in all this work to be rich. Then he said he didn't. Most of these people who rich, they lose it. They get it back again. Why? Because it tell you right here, it says, for riches certainly make themselves wings. They constantly chasing it. Constantly. Seeking after that, that's going to leave. Look, verse 4, it says, labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. So the wisdom that we're supposed to be searching for is the wisdom that comes from the Most High. Not our own. Not our own thoughts. Let's go back over to Ecclesiastes. We're gonna go right up one chapter to chapter 20. We're gonna pick it up at verse 9. It says, let's see, it's 21, 20, verse 9. It says, there is a sinner that hath good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. Because these riches, they have wings. They gonna stay. Let's pick it back up a little bit more over here in Proverbs. We're gonna go to chapter 21. Proverbs 21, verse 25 through 27. It says, the desire of the slothful killeth him. Is lazy. Why is he calling him lazy? It says, for his hands refuse to labor. What labor is he supposed to be laboring in? It says, he coveteth greedy all the day long. I'm sorry, he coveteth greedily all the day long. He coveting everything that he's not supposed to be coveting. We want all these lusts, these desires of the world, but we refuse to labor in the things that what God told us to labor in, seeking his wisdom, his understanding, his knowledge, his truth, his doctrine. Verse 27, it says, the sacrifice, the established covenant of the wicked is abomination. Because they sacrificing everything. They're establishing a covenant with the world. Remember, he said he told God. Then he said he asked God. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. So he told God, this is what I want. And then he said, then I start asking after that, I want more. But he talking about the things of this world. See, watch this. We're gonna read this next one, then we're gonna pivot for a quick second. Let's go to Psalms chapter 10. Sorry, Psalms chapter 10, verse 3 and 4. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed give it wisdom That man teacheth the covetous, whom the Lord hateth, he abhorred them. The wicked through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. See, we're not laboring after the Most High. God is not in all his thoughts. Ain't even close. But let's see. Let's see. We're gonna pivot for just 1 second. I gotta find this one scripture. It just came to mind. Who who he was talking about. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna give me one. Bear with me just one moment, cause I know it's right here. Yep, right here. I'm gonna go to Matthew chapter 4. Matthew chapter 4. It says, then, verse 5 says, then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on the pinnacle of the temple. I'm sorry, right here. Let's see. Right here, I'm sorry, verse 8. It says, and again, the devil taketh him up into an exceedingly high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of this world, and the glory of them. That's what they asking for. They ask for all of these things in the kingdom of this world and the glory of them. So we didn't done. It says, and said unto him, all these things will I give thee. He said he gonna give you all of that. He said, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. You ask for everything in this world, which is enmity. You'll get it. Right here, he tell you right here, you gonna get it. But that ain't the worship. They ain't worshiping God. Not for that. See, it says the wicked through his pride of his countenance will not seek after God. We're seeking after the devil. God is not in all his thoughts. Watch this. Let's go back over here to Ecclesiastes, Sirach, chapter 38, verse 34. It says, but they will maintain the state of the world. Because God ain't in our thoughts. We maintaining all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And all their desire is the work of their craft. Oh, we put in our own work for all of these lusts, all the glory of these kingdoms of the world. Watch this. Let's see what happened. Why all of this stuff going like that? Psalms. We're going to go over to chapter 81. We're going to pick it up at verse 12. It says, so I gave them up to their own heart's lust. Since we over here rolling with the devil, he said, all right, You want to worship him? I got something for you. He says, I give you up to your own lust. And they walked in their own counsels. So we did. Said, oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. That ain't what he wanted for us, y'all. It says, verse 16, he should have fed them also with the finest of the wheat, and with honey out of the rock should I have satisfied thee. We lusting for everything except for the wisdom of the Most High. He said he's going to give it to us. He said the finest of the wheat, the best, purest. He didn't want us to be dealing with, he didn't want to be dealing with us like that. He want to give us up. He married to us. We're going to pick it up at 2 Chronicles chapter 7, starting at verse 14. It says, if my people, which are called by my name, my way, his way, remember, his way, wisdom, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Then it says, now mine eyes shall be open and my ears shall attend unto the prayer that is made in this place. Because you've been praying for all of this other stuff. You ain't hearing that. Showed you heard it. The devil. He was hearing it. That wasn't the Most High. We weren't seeking after the Most High. We were seeking after Satan. It says, for I now have chosen and have sanctified, separated this house, you, that my way, my name, may be there forever. His way, not the way of Satan. And mine eyes, his understanding, and mine heart, his desire, shall be there in you perpetually. Ain't going nowhere. We got to be on the Lord's side. See, that don't run away. It said to be there perpetually. Don't got no wings. It ain't flying away. It's coming to you. And it's staying on you. But you got to desire that. The Father does not desire for us to be in wanting, greedy, covetous, lascivious, lustful, jealous, adulterous, or proud. He provides us with all things we need. He ensures that we lack nothing as long as we keep his instructions. But not with the prosperity as man teaches, but with wisdom which the Holy Ghost teacheth.
break it down.